Hi, my name is Nicole DeLuca. I'm a student at NC State University, and I'm currently taking a course on women in health. I decided to do a crash course on contraceptives. I think it's important to know how they were developed, how they've transformed, what options are available right now, and how you can access different birth controls. I also wanted to talk about female condoms. Through this course, I learned a lot about them, and my reaction to what I read about them really shocked me, and I kind of just wanted to go more into depth about that. Going through school, I always had like the general sex ed classes that talked about puberty and intercourse, STIs, that sort of thing. I learned about condoms, but I never really learned about female condoms. I can't remember a time that I ever read about them, heard about them, did a demonstration with. I remember having a banana and putting a condom on the banana, but there was nothing for female condoms. So that kind of triggered why I really wanted to look into it, just because there's so much information on everything else, but there's really nothing on female condoms. So the reason I really wanted to focus on female condoms is because of the reaction that I had when I read about them in class for the first time, and then the reactions that my peers had and the people around me had. So when I read the article, it explained how female condoms were developed in 1993, which is the year that I was born, so they've been around for 22 years. And the fact that I've never used one, I've never seen one, I've never really even heard of anybody talking about them, kind of blew my mind. I started looking for them in stores and stuff. I wasn't able to find them. So it was kind of shocking to me that something that's been around for so long that has benefits is not used more. So I kind of went on a search to find out why people aren't using them or why women aren't using them. When I started telling people about what I was doing, I was baffled by their reactions. I told my roommate, I said to her, I'm doing a project on female condoms, and her response was, what? Those exist? And after that, I was just kind of like, I wonder if everybody has the same reaction. And I was right. Nobody really knows anything about female condoms unless they've been educated on them. I went through the general education course in middle school, I think. Female condoms may have been mentioned, but other than that, I didn't know anything about them besides what I learned in this class. And I'm 22 years old just now, hearing about a method that can really benefit me and protect me. I told another group of my friends that I was doing a project on female condoms, and my friend responded, I've never used one of those. And her boyfriend was like, what? You've never used a female condom? He was under the impression that female condoms were birth control altogether. He had no idea that a female condom was just like a male condom, use it during sex. He was under the impression that she'd never been on birth control, which shows that nobody really understands the female condom in its entirety. I told another friend of mine that I was doing a project on female condoms, and he said, oh, like dental dams? And I didn't even know what dental dams were. So he ended up looking them up, and it was a protectant for oral sex. So he didn't even know what female condoms were. So I really want to go into like what they are, the advantages and disadvantages of them, and just talk about that more in depth. When I first started this project, I did a search on the internet for female condom tutorials, and I came across this one video. It was two girls from Mizzou. They were part of a health program there to promote health, and they basically did a tutorial on using a female condom. I found this video really interesting because there were a lot of flaws that I found. It seemed like it was really the only like fun tutorial. The other ones were more like very medical and technical. I was looking for something more fun, I guess you could say. So I watched theirs. It was about 4 minutes long. It talked about the female condom a little bit, and then it went over how to insert it and all of that. So basically, they had a condom. They went over that the condom should be closed. Their condom was ripped open already, so that's really not a good example of what a female condom should be like. When they opened it, they also looked at the expiration date, and they said, make sure that it's not expired. Their example condom was expired. So right off the bat, it just didn't seem like a reliable source of what a female condom is and how it should be used, which I found really interesting because there are seminars and lessons on how to use a male condom, putting it on a banana or a fake penis, anything like that. But I've never seen a tutorial on a female condom, and it kind of blew my mind that the one that I did find on the internet had so many flaws and wasn't executed very well. So right now the FC2 is the only brand of female condoms available. With male condoms, there's so many different brands aside from the major ones like Trojan and Durex. There's glow-in-the-dark condoms, flavored condoms, studded condoms with different shapes on them. There's warming condoms. There's a ton of different male condoms, and yet there's only one female condom. An article that I read said that the goal for the FC2 was to give people a choice, not necessarily to make them switch to the female condom, but to give them another option. People are used to the male condom. It does have its positive effects, so the FC2 is there to give people an option. There are a lot of benefits to the female condom. It can be inserted up to 8 hours prior to intercourse. So the female does have the option to insert it when she wants to, if she knows that she's going to have intercourse. Having that in there, she knows that she's putting it on right. She knows that she's protected. Doesn't have to rely on the man to put on the condom. So it does empower women to be in control of their sexual health. One disadvantage of condoms is the application of them. So they are a little bit difficult to use. One of the articles that I read said that it can take up to 6 months to master. So depending on how often you practice or how often you have sex, being able to apply the condom properly so that it is effective is important. So the history of birth control dates all the way back to 3000 BC. Condoms were made of fish bladders and animal intestines. In 1873, all advertisements and all birth control was prohibited. In 1916, the first birth control clinic was opened. In 1938, the government lifted all bans on birth control. In 1960, the first oral contraceptive pill was created. In 1965, all married couples were allowed to use birth control, but any unmarried women, they could not use birth control. In 1968, all IUDs were approved by the FDA. In 1972, birth control was legalized for all citizens in the United States. In 1993, the female condom was introduced, and in 1999, Plan B was introduced. In 1999, Plan B no longer required a prescription, so it was sold at drugstores, pharmacies. So if you didn't have access to healthcare, you could purchase it. So it was a form of contraceptive that was available to everybody. As of today, they're still doing research on female contraceptives, preventing STIs, and developing more advanced methods of pregnancy prevention. Choosing a birth control is really important. When I became sexually active, I knew that I had to make a doctor's appointment. I didn't really know what types of birth control were available. I only knew about the pill. That's what most of my friends took. until I went to the doctor. That's when she described all the options that I had. So contraceptives basically prevent pregnancy by interrupting normal cycles that you go through, like ovulation, implantation, and fertilization. Each birth control works at a different step to stop it. And there are so many different methods of birth control. It really just depends on what works for you, what works for your body, what your body responds to. So there are 6 types of birth control that I'm going to talk about. The first is oral, and that's the birth control pill. So you take it every day at the same time, and that's your birth control method. The next is injection. So people call it the depot shot or the depot shot. That's injected once every 3 months, and it's a hormonal medicine, and that's your birth control form. There's also implants, so the Norplant is another option of birth control. That gets implanted in your arm right about here, and you keep it in there. It's always effective until you go to the doctor and switch it out. The next type of birth control is the IUD, and that's inserted into the uterus. You have to go to the doctor to get that put in and taken out. There's more permanent methods of birth control, such as tubal ligation and vasectomy, and that's where the tubes are tied so the sperm or egg can't meet, fertilization can't happen, and pregnancy can't happen. And last but not least are vaginal methods, so condoms, spermicide. Spermicide is usually a gel that can be inserted into the vagina during intercourse, and it kills sperm. Condoms, male condoms and female condoms, can be used during intercourse to prevent pregnancy and prevent STIs. So now that we've talked about the different types of birth control, I thought it would be fun to do some interviews of my friends to see what they use and why they chose them and that sort of thing. So for me, I started out using NuvaRing. When I went to the doctor, she asked me different questions about myself, what my schedule was like. I pretty much decided that I wasn't able to take a pill at the same time every single day just based on my schedule. So I went with the NuvaRing, which basically you put in for 3 weeks and then you take it out and switch it with another one. You can leave it in during sex. You really don't have to do anything with it. It just stays in you and your birth control is working. It's keeping you protected. With the NuvaRing, I ended up having really bad mood swings, and I noticed that it was changing my personality. It really affected me. So I went back to the doctor and I decided to switch to the pill. With the pill, I was able to take it every day. I just took it in the morning when I woke up. My mood swings got a lot better. I didn't gain any weight. And I mean, even though you have to take it at the same time every day in order for it to be effective, I realized that it was a much better decision because it wasn't affecting my personality and all of that. So it is important that you do find the right birth control because you want to be protected, but you also don't want it to like affect your life in a negative way with your relationships and with the mood swings that I had from the NuvaRing. It just wasn't worth it to stay on it. So that's why it's important to know your options, to know that you have options. So now I want to show you some of the interviews that I did with my friends. I was actually shocked to hear their answers, and it was also exciting to know like why they chose what they chose, and to see what they knew about condoms.
Hi, I'm Grace. I'm 21 and I'm a senior at NC State.
Hi, Grace. Do you use contraceptives?
I do, yes.
What type of contraceptives do you use?
I'm on birth control.
Okay, and what form of birth control do you take?
The pills.
Okay. What made you choose the pill?
I originally got them for acne and that reason, and then just have stayed on them since that.
Okay. Do you use any other form of contraceptives?
Condoms.
Okay, and what type of condoms do you use?
The male ones.
Are you aware that female condoms exist?
No.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Caitlin, I'm 24.
Hi, Caitlin. Do you use contraceptives?
Yes.
What type do you use?
Birth control.
Okay, and what form of birth control do you use?
A pill.
Okay. What made you choose the pill?
I don't know. I originally got on it because I had very irregular periods.
Okay. Do you use any other form of contraceptive?
No.
Are you aware that female condoms exist?
Yes.
Have you ever used one? Have you ever seen one?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
That's it.
Hi, my name is Cheyenne Taylor. I'm 20 years old and a junior at NC State.
Hey, Cheyenne. Do you use contraceptives?
Yes.
What type do you use?
The Depo shot?
The Depo shot. Okay. What made you choose that type?
Because I would forget to take that pill every day.
Okay. Have you used any other type of birth control? Just the shot?
Mm-hmm.
How often do you have to get the shot?
Every 3 months.
Okay. Do you use any other form of birth control?
Like,
Condoms?
okay. Yeah.
Yes. What types of condoms do you use? Male or female?
Male.
Have you ever heard of a female condom?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So I was really interested about finding out if female condoms were available at places like Planned Parenthood. I know they have condoms there that are available, so I wanted to see if they also had female condoms. So I called the Raleigh location and the Durham location. I asked them a few questions about the male and female condoms, and then I also asked them about birth control.
Thank you for calling Planned Parenthood. This is Matt. How may I assist you?
Hey, I just had a few quick questions.
Okay, what questions do you have?
Do y'all have condoms available at Planned Parenthood?
Yes, ma'am.
And are they free?
I believe they're usually $1.
Okay.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Do y'all have male condoms and female condoms?
I know we have male condoms. It may be up to the individual health centers as far as if they would have female condoms in stock. But if I recall correctly, we may not have female condoms.
Okay. Do you know where I could purchase female condoms?
Well, the best resource would probably be to check your local pharmacy.
Okay.
In fact, something like Walmart may or may not have them.
Okay.
So you want to check like Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, those types of places that will normally have pharmacies, and check to see if they have female condoms.
Okay. And then as far as birth control at Planned Parenthood, how does that work if I don't have health insurance?
Well, we see patients both with insurance and without insurance.
Okay.
What's the city of the Planned Parenthood Health Center you're inquiring about?
What's what?
What's the city of the location that you're asking about?
Raleigh?
Raleigh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is because some of our health centers may have limited financial assistance available while others don't receive the funding for that.
Okay.
So usually if you don't have insurance, we'd estimate about $85 to $100, and then the cost of birth control chosen. Just as one example, usually for birth control pills, if we can provide that to you, it's usually $15 a pack.
Okay.
Now, our Raleigh Health Center, to answer you more specifically, unfortunately doesn't have the funding for the financial assistance, but
Okay.
our Durham location does. So if that's convenient enough for you and cost is a concern, you may be able to be seen at Durham, and what we would recommend is to bring proof of income at the time of the appointment. That's
Okay.
usually best form would be last couple pay stubs and or a bank statement.
Okay.
So if you're able to bring proof of income, they may be able to screen to see if we can help with the cost of the appointment. But if price isn't necessarily the concern, of course, again, at Raleigh, it's usually about $85 to $100 for the prescription, the consultation,
Okay.
and then again, it's like $15 for birth control pills. That's for one pack that lasts a month.
Okay.
The Depo injection is about $90, which lasts for approximately 3 months. And the NuvaRing, if I recall correctly, is about $35.
Okay, so depending on like the city or location, there's certain funding, so you might be able to get birth control one place but not the other place.
Well, you can obtain birth control at either Raleigh or Durham, but the financial assistance is we have limited financial assistance at Durham, but they lack the funding for the assistance specifically at Raleigh. So you can still obtain birth control at Raleigh even without insurance.
Okay.
But you may have to pay the $85 to $100
Okay.
for the consultation, whereas at Durham, if you're eligible, they may be able to reduce the price.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. So thank you for your help.
You're welcome. Is there anything else I may help you with?
No, that's it.
All right.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for calling Planned Parenthood.
Bye.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for calling Planned Parenthood. This is Carrie speaking. How may I assist you?
Hey, I just had a few quick questions.
Sure.
Do y'all have condoms at Planned Parenthood?
Absolutely.
Are they free or are they just available for purchase?
They're free.
Okay, and do you have male and female condoms?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then as for birth control, if I don't have health insurance, how does that work?
Okay, basically it depends on, what it really depends on is which health center you were going to. I see that you're calling from North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
We have health center in Asheville, Winston-Salem, Greensboro, Durham. I think that's all that we have in, and they offer the financial assistance.
Okay.
Which means that if it's not a problem visit, if it was for birth control or annual checkup or STI screening, basically if you don't have any symptoms,
Mm-hmm.
if you could bring us your last 2 paycheck stubs or a bank statement if you get direct deposit,
Mm-hmm.
well, we may be able to assist you with financial assistance. I can't give an exact price over the phone,
Okay.
but we ask that you show up 10 or 15 minutes early before your appointment. So they can screen you for that and let you know what your cost is going to be. But either way, at any of our other Planned Parenthoods, such as Raleigh or Charlotte, we automatically offer a prompt pay discount,
Okay.
which means if you're paying cash,
Mm-hmm.
that, it's automatically at a discounted price. So,
Okay.
For a birth control consultation, it's going to be $85 to $100. Now, you don't have to have an annual to get birth control through us.
Okay.
It's, the $85 to $100 plus the cost of the birth control.
Mm-hmm.
The pills are anywhere from 15 to 30. The shots 100. The NuvaRings are about 30. And, the Mirena, the IUDs and stuff like that, the implant, they run a little high.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, if you do have insurance, is there a consultation fee?
If you have insurance, you would most certainly have to check with your insurance to see if they cover.
Okay.
Or we could, or you could wait till the day of your appointment to find out. Or if you need to know ahead of time, you could always call them and see exactly what your copay is going to be.
Okay. So without insurance, you're looking at the $85 to $100 copay, and then if I did the pill, then it would be like $15 to $30.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your help.
You're very welcome. Can I assist you with anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for calling Planned Parenthood.
Thank you. So after calling both Planned Parenthoods, I was kind of surprised by the answers that I got as far as the condoms. I found it interesting that in Raleigh they charge $1 for condoms. In Durham they're free. And then the guy that answered the phone in Raleigh didn't think that they even had female condoms. Where in Durham they were sure that they did have female condoms. I also found it interesting that depending on the city and the financial funding that they get, your birth control access can differ. As far as class issues with birth control and contraceptives, I decided to call Planned Parenthood. I wanted to call them at first to see if they provided condoms to the public. So I gave them a call just to figure it out. And on the phone, I also asked about birth control and being able to get it, what you needed, the cost of it, that sort of thing. If you have health insurance, your health insurance does cover your birth control or contraceptive. If you're purchasing condoms, female or male, you can buy those at the store. Anybody has access to those. So as long as you're willing to pay for them, you can protect yourself. As far as getting a prescription for a contraceptive, such as the pill, getting the shot, having the implant, those are all things that you need to consult your doctor, and then that can go through your insurance. If you don't have insurance, then there are options to pay for it, but it is. As far as gender differences go, I think it's important to note that when you're going through the general sex education courses and they do the presentation on putting a condom on a banana or that sort of thing, the female has to try it, the male has to try it, and no one has ever tried to do a female condom. Males don't have to try to put a female condom in. Females don't have to do it. They don't even have any lessons on it. It's simply the male condom, and that's what everybody is expected to use, encouraged to use, and taught to use. So I hope this video helped. I hope it helped you learn about the history of contraceptives, what options you have available, that you do have options. I hope you learned something about female condoms and you'll think about using them based on what's best for you and your body. I've listed all the resources on this video so you can access any of the information on female condoms or contraceptives. And I hope you can share this information with your friends and family, and hopefully everyone won't be in the dark about female condoms anymore.